New tonight, the 7 News I-Team has discovered a disturbing pattern in the 5th District. A D.C. commander using patrol cars as his personal rideshare to drop him off at a bar. Our investigator Scott Taylor led the exclusive 7 News undercover investigation, and he joins us now with breaking news on this story. Scott?
Jonathan, I just got this email from D.C. Police. It says District Commander William Fitzgerald just handed in his notice of retirement. We saw this commander on multiple nights use patrol cars to take him to a bar to drink.
Oh, it's 11:45. He's getting out right now.
You're watching 5th District Commander William Fitzgerald stepping out of a D.C. police patrol car onto 11th Street in Northwest D.C. This late at night, you might think he's headed to an emergency or active crime scene, but he's not.
Yeah, that's him.
He walks right into Sally's. It's a bar. On 5 nights during a 2-week period, 7 News Undercover tracked Fitzgerald using either patrol cars or an unmarked city-owned SUV to catch a ride from his apartment to a bar and back again. Inside Sally's, our cameras caught the commander drinking beers and shots on multiple nights.
I drank too much tonight.
On most nights, he leaves the bar around 1:30 in the morning.
Well, I got a ride coming.
You guessed it. Depending on what's available, a patrol car or an unmarked SUV takes him back to his apartment. He's in charge of the 5th District, which over the past 2 years has seen a rise in violent crimes, including stolen vehicles and sex assaults. It also recorded the 3rd highest number of murders in D.C. Hi, Commander Fitzgerald. Scott Taylor, 7 News. Can you tell me why you're having patrol cars drop you off and pick you up at bars?
No, we just dropped off now. We went around, we check our beats because we have some overtime beats out. We ride around, check that. When I was coming here and he dropped me off here. It's not a car. It's one of my officials that I talked to.
But somebody then picks you up at this bar, right?
It has happened, yes, sir.
The commander goes to the bar during the work week, including a night where you see him getting off the floor after he fell off his bar stool. We have you on video over and over and over again getting picked up at your apartment, brought here. You sit here and drink until 1:30 in the morning, and then a patrol car comes by, picks you up, and takes you to the apartment. How do you explain that? Is it a good way to spend resources?
When they first drive around, check my beats, yes. Coming here at the end of the night, no, that's wrong.
You're not checking any beats. You're
Earlier, no, I said at the end of the night, it's wrong, sir.
On the night 7 News followed Fitzgerald, his beat was 10 minutes long from his apartment to the bar. Right, so are you going to continue to do it?
No.
Police policy states off-duty officers can't carry a gun when consuming alcohol. 7 News doesn't know if the commander is armed or not when he's drinking. We hear you've been doing it for more than a year.
I can't give you a time frame, but too long.
Fitzgerald was named commander of the 5th District 7 years ago and makes more than $197,000 a year. Why aren't you taking an Uber, Commander?
I do take Uber sometime, but you're right, I was very wrong.
7 News alerted MPD Chief Robert Conti about what we discovered right after our chat with the commander.
This is a really disturbing event.
48 hours later, Fitzgerald was still on active duty on Twitter representing MPD. Chief Conti declined our multiple requests for an on-camera interview and asked us to speak to his assistant chief. 7 News declined the offer to speak to anyone except Conti because he oversees the district's recent surge in violent crime. Conti then had Dustin Sternbeck, his director of communications, release 2 statements to 7 News. The latest. MPD learned that Fitzgerald was the subject of an investigative news story and were advised of his concerning behavior. Internal Affairs has started an investigation. He has submitted his notice of retirement and is now on administrative leave. We're worried about you, that you might have an issue with alcohol. We want you to get some help.
I think it's best I don't talk now, but you're right, sir. Thank you.
Okay, good luck. Chief Conti only answered 2 of the 15 questions we asked. So what about all the other questions, including who was driving Commander Fitzgerald back and forth from the bar? Plus, you got to wonder why the chief never took us up on the opportunity to watch our undercover video before we aired it. Believe me, I've got a lot more questions. Scott Taylor, 7 News.
Well, the district is in the middle of a crime wave, and last week 7 News on Your Side uncovered a potential misuse of city resources involving MPD's 5th District Commander, William Fitzgerald.
He was getting rides back and forth to a bar in patrol cars. 7 News on Your Side investigator Scott Taylor broke this exclusive story, and new tonight at 6, he is still trying to get answers.
Crime is on the rise in D.C. We've seen a 21% increase in violent crimes compared to the same time last year. Homicides are up 15% and robberies up 43%. With crime skyrocketing and MPD leadership saying they don't have enough resources, 7 News wants to know why one of its leaders, 5th District Commander William Fitzgerald, was using patrol cars for late-night rides back and forth to a bar. On 5 nights over a 2-week period, 7 News Undercover tracked Fitzgerald using patrol cars and an unmarked city-owned vehicle to transport him from his apartment in D.C. to a bar and back again.
Yeah, that's him.
Inside, 7 News caught Fitzgerald drinking beer and shots on multiple nights.
I drank too much tonight.
Internal affairs investigators with the Metropolitan Police Department now have opened up their own investigation.
Here we go again. Here we go again.
Delonte Golson is the senior pastor at DC's Peace Fellowship Church. He's also the co-chair of the Accountability Committee with DC City Council's Police Reform Commission. Last April, the commission handed over a 259-page report to the city to help improve policing.
I wish I could say that I was surprised that there was a lack of accountability. I appreciate the resignation that was tendered, but what we're looking at is a systemic and wholesale issue within the MPD that needs to be seriously addressed.
Last week, Fitzgerald admitted to 7 News what he was doing was wrong.
Is it a good way to spend resources?
When they first drive around, check my beats, yes. Coming here at the end of the night, no, that's wrong.
You're not checking any beats. You're going
Earlier, no, I said at the end of the night, it's wrong, sir.
MPD policy states officers can't use government vehicles for personal activities. There's more. 7 News has learned Fitzgerald, according to DC's Department of Motor Vehicles, doesn't have a valid DC driver's license, even though he's lived in the district for years. Our sources say his last DC license expired in 2017. MPD won't confirm if Fitzgerald has a current driver's license or not.
Do you have a driver's license?
Yes, sir.
You do?
Yes.
Then why aren't you driving yourself? Why aren't you taking an Uber, Commander?
I do take Uber sometime, but you're right, I was very wrong.
7 News sources say investigators are looking into claims that someone inside MPD falsified government records to show Fitzgerald had a valid driver's license when he did not. Chief Conti continues to decline our request to answer questions on camera. Last week, MPD offered up his assistant chief, who we declined to interview. And then MPD's Office of Communications emailed saying, "We recently learned that an MPD commander was the subject of an investigative news story and were advised of his concerning behavior. Internal Affairs has initiated an investigation. Once all facts have been obtained, we will take appropriate action." Pastor Golson isn't happy with the district's lack of transparency.
My plea, my heart would be for those who are accountable to the community to just simply answer basic questions and if we want to see public trust be built or be restored, if we want to have any kind of conversation about what the future of public safety can look like in DC, you got to answer basic questions.
7 News did offer the commander a sit-down interview, which he declined. He's been placed on administrative leave with pay and handed in his notice to retire, effective at the end of the month. Now, just to be clear, all MPD officers are required to maintain a valid driver's license. We'll continue to ask questions on our investigation. Scott Taylor, 7 News.